I got to change my seat in the dugout, or where I stand in the dugout, because I watched it play I just got through watching it again. I just love athleticism and great plays, and he's clearly on his way to another platinum Gold Glove. But where I stand, I look over and there's Espo and Leap right there, and I can't. I've got two great coaches who I love that I get to look at and talk with and manage the game with. But I can't see one of the most exciting players in the game in right field until as I run out in the field and start watching. So I've got to readjust where I look from. But what a special talent, and we talked about in our coaching meeting today about we're always reflecting on what we're doing well, what we need to improve upon, and looking at last series, like, wow, we hit the cutoff man there, we redirected, got out of second base, we, Pro went over and cut the ball off early, held him to it, scoring in the first, and all those little things. We played as clean as you could play defensively, and then we got to Tatís play, and it was like, yeah, there's nothing fundamental about it. That's just an athlete making a play. So it's really fun.
And then, is there an update on you, Darvish?
Yes, we will announce our starter after the game tonight, and it's using a good place.
Campusano had the big pop yesterday. It was a difficult decision to leave him out of the lineup today. Maybe not behind the plate, but perhaps even at DH.
It was a thought, and Rosie had a big homer the other day too, and it swung the bat well. It creates a little more flexibility for our lineup for matchups. So we can obviously come off the bench and have Graham or Wadey hit if they go to the righty later. So it creates a little more flexibility in that regard, because if you do that with Campy, you lose the DH, and it also creates some flexibility for Campy to come in later like he did yesterday.
2 days in a row in the field for Manny is a good sign. To be able to do that back-to-back. Is that sooner than you thought?
Maybe a hair sooner. It's clearly a great sign. We didn't have it in pencil, or a pen rather, had it in pencil, but him being able to go do it, the turnaround of a day game to a night game, how he felt yesterday, he's like, yeah, let's ride, let's do it. So a lot of positivity to it.
You answered a little bit yesterday, but what do you like about Pro in the leadoff spot? Kind of what he's been able to do?
Thought about it again because I do reflect on some of the answers I give you and some of the questions. And I thought, what? Great question. And just in simple terms, when a guy's taking good at bats, regardless of where you put him, then you can put him in leadoff. But ultimately, a lineup's about a lineup full of guys taking good at bats. And so it shouldn't matter as much where they go. For example, yesterday, Bogey wasn't leading off, but led off 2 innings. There's your lineup. But I get the fact it turns over, so I'm not naive to that, clearly. But I like the fact that he left it right-handed, taking good at bats regardless, working walks, getting big hits. But it's really just about guys taking good at bats.
I know you're focused on this Red Series, but do you feel that this series against the Phillies was more a reflection on how dominant that team is right now, or versus where you guys are trying to find your way in the rotation and offensively?
I think it's a combination. I think thought about that as well. Having a good, glad we're sharing minds together here about the reflection. They're a really good team, the Phillies. Clearly, they've been to a World Series and a game away from another one last year. And then they played, candidly, their best baseball. You think about all the components of what goes into a game, which I talk about pretty consistently here, and how you win games. And so you got great starting pitching with Nola, Suarez. Walker did his part yesterday. They played super clean defensively, with the exception of one ball in the 8th yesterday. We talk about lineups. Their whole lineup was taking good at bats, pretty much regardless of where it was. Schwarber contributed. They got, homers from about everywhere. Stott had 2. Baum was, just living right and, good player, just playing well. So you had a really good, talented team that did everything well from an execution standpoint. That's going to be a challenge to win. So we have to continue to match that, Now, saying that, we played really good teams and won multiple series against, on record and paper, really good teams. It's really just going to come down to our component is playing well irrespective of opponent and doing those things consistently. I alluded earlier to our defense. We basically put on a clinic this last series defensively and didn't win a game, and no one's going to say, hey, that's great, and it didn't allow you to contribute to it. All I can say is, from a pure, how are we playing standpoint, that's a huge win. Now let's figure out how to have a few more shutdown innings, a few more consistent at bats and innings. But I look at our latest report, and we're a top 10 offensive team, taking good at bats, doing a lot of good things. We just got to continue to put it together and be consistent. When you play good teams, that's what it comes down to, and that's what the playoffs are about. And we got to do that consistently so we can go be that playoff team we expect to be.